Hello, and welcome to this introductory presentation about MO1030, Trauma and Crisis. This module will extend your rural generalist knowledge and skill in service provision for people living in rural and remote communities affected by trauma and crisis. You will learn about the causes of trauma, impacts of trauma, principles of trauma-informed care, assessment tools and interventions, local, state and national services for people affected by trauma and crisis, and how to identify and respond to vicarious trauma. The module focuses upon safety and cultural considerations in relation to assessment, intervention and referral. The intended learning outcome for this module is that you'll be able to combine advanced knowledge and skills in trauma-informed care and crisis interventions to perform and advise on appropriate assessment, interventions and referral to local, state and national psychosocial supports for consumers in rural and/or remote contexts, with a focus on safety and cultural considerations. This module goes for 6 weeks, with 22 hours expected workload. You can see the weekly topics here. In Week 1, Introduction to Trauma and Crisis Theory, you will review and engage with the resources on both trauma and crisis. In Week 2, Impacts of Trauma, you will gain an understanding of the impact of trauma before choosing and more closely examining one impact of trauma. In Week 3, Principles of Trauma-Informed Care and Vicarious Trauma, you will learn about both trauma-informed care as a broad strategy for healthcare services and vicarious trauma in relation to your role as a health professional before developing a personal plan for identifying and responding to vicarious trauma. In Week 4, Trauma-Specific Clinical Interventions and Assessments, you will review resources on trauma-specific clinical interventions and familiarise yourself with standardised assessment tools for people affected by trauma. You'll then practice undertaking an assessment on a colleague before considering the module case scenario, which will be used throughout the module to synthesise your learning. In Week 5, Cultural Considerations for Working with People Affected by Trauma, you'll learn about trauma and culturally competent or sensitive practice and reconsider the module case scenario before discussing your learning to date with your supervisor. In Week 6, Support Services for People Affected by Trauma and Crisis, you will seek out and map local, state and national support services and explore challenges associated with the rural and remote context. You'll reconsider the case scenario for a final time, synthesising what you have learned. Each week you will have several learning activities that will take up to 4 hours a week to complete and includes the time you spend on your assessment. A single assessment task is due at the end of the module in Week 6. This is an oral presentation submitted as a narrated slide presentation in which you'll demonstrate the application of theory and skills for working with people affected by trauma and crisis. You will also have the opportunity to submit a formative piece of work at the end of Week 2. This is your module workbook. It is not marked, but will give you some feedback on how you are going. We've built in some opportunities for you to interact with the content, the module coordinator, and other participants who are taking the module at the same time. There are learning activities which include contributing to online discussions. This provides a chance and an expectation for you to swap professional insights with others who may be from the same or other health professions. This mutual exchange of knowledge is the basis of successful collaborative team practice, so we'll hope you join in. You'll find the module outline in the Start Here folder. It contains your module coordinator's contact information, all the details of the assessment task and marking criteria, information about applying for extensions, any module prerequisites, and the module calendar. Please don't hesitate to get in touch for any questions or concerns, and enjoy the module.